At the end of this video, you're gonna figure out what the 3 most common mistakes are at the kitchen. The first mistake we're gonna be talking about here today is simply players at the kitchen line are not very aware of their stance. They're not aware of balance and getting organized with their lower extremities. One of the most common stances that I see in pickleball that doesn't allow you to be mobile, doesn't allow you to find your most athletic self, is getting too wide. Anytime that I get too wide, I'm gonna find that I'm gonna chase a lot of trash, I'm gonna get overextended, I may catch some balls back in here, plain and simple. Anytime that I'm wide like this, really all I can do is take balls out of the air. There's not gonna be a whole lot of offense off the bounce. Anytime that I get that indecision dink, whether I'm thinking out of the air or off the bounce, it's gonna be tough to be aggressive from that area. So here's how it would look. I'm gonna have Ethan in front of me here. I'm gonna be dinking back and forth. Well, you will see that my movement is limited. There's gonna be some dinks getting popped up because I'm getting overextended. And as we all know, dinks get popped up when you get overextended because you wanna start compensating with your wrist, or I get overextended and make contact too far out in front as I'm taking the ball out of the air. So anytime that I find myself chasing trash or I'm fully extended, it's very natural to want to start compensating with your wrist, whether you're taking a ball out in front or you're moving laterally. Take a look. Okay? It takes a very high skill set to be comfortable hitting dinks when you're on your edges. Something that we talk about a lot is that, like, whether you're playing singles at a high level or whether you're dinking at a high level skill set allows you to be comfortable getting extended and taking balls like this. This does not work for lower levels. So just make sure that we're trying to keep the elbow tucked in. We are keeping the ball in front of us. Whether it's in zone 1, it's in zone 2, or zone 3, the last thing I want to be doing is to be on my edges and then compensating with the wrist. So first I'm going to narrow the stance. I'm going to keep this nice and locked in, and I'm just going to make sure of that anytime I'm making contact, I'm using the proper footwork and I'm keeping the ball in front of me. Take a look. So keeping the ball in front of me. I may hit lift dinks, I may hit some push dinks, but the main focus here is just using a stance that allows me to be mobile. I can take a step back. I can also take balls out of the air or take balls as half volleys, but this is a very efficient stance that allows me to both be aggressive off the bounce and be aggressive out of the air by taking some balls out of the air. Second mistake that we see at the kitchen line is gonna be a tactical or a shot selection play. So if you get pulled out of position, or something I see time and time again, whether my opponent is hitting a dink in the middle and pulls me out of position, or I'm in this cross-court dinking battle, I see too many players get pulled out of position, get put on their edges, right? Get put on their edges, get pulled out. There's not room for an ATP, and they're trying to yank this thing back cross-court. Usually that leads to balls getting popped up. Now it's 1 versus 2, but it puts my partner in a position where they have to clean the mess for me because I'm popping balls up as I'm getting pulled out of position and I'm trying to dink back cross. So something I would love for you to do here is keep the ball more in front of you or just keep it more middle. Plain and simple, very, very difficult when you get pulled out of position and you're on your edges to be yanking this thing back cross court. Here's what you should not do. So I have Ethan cross court from me here, ready here. So I get pulled out of position. Again, I get pulled out of position here. Okay, I'm trying to yank this back cross court. Obviously, I'm out of position. My partner is shifting with me, but it puts my partner in a tough spot because now it's 1 versus 2. Okay, again. I get pulled out of position. I try to yank that back cross court. I would say the most difficult play in pickleball is getting pulled out of position and trying to either use your wrist and curl it back or try to compensate and use spin and curl it back cross court. So here's what we should do. So Ethan, same thing here, dinking cross, 1 to me, pulls me out wide, okay? I'm gonna keep that ball in front of me. So much easier to play defense, whether you're at the kitchen line, you're in transition, or you're back at the baseline. If you're off balance, if you're in deep water, if you're in trouble, always look to be safe, put balls in play, and keep the percentage high just by keeping the dink in front of you. Again. Dinking cross here. Easy E pulls me out. I'm gonna hit that sucker shallow right in front of me. If this person decides to speed up, great. Now I'm shifting and I have time off of that lift of your dink to get back in the middle. Let's show the same look, but now Ethan's gonna be from the middle here. So I'm dinking to that foot. He pulls me out. I'm lifting, and directly after I lift, should I get myself reestablished? No, I'm gonna lift. If this person decides to try to come through me, now I have time, I can lift and sag back, and my hands are much better from here, my tracking ability is much better, and I can differentiate the block and the punch much better just by having some time. I'm gonna show that one more time here. So I'm dinking to his inside foot, he pulls me out of position, I'm thinking lift, if he comes at me, now I have time to counter. So make sure that if you're not in control of the dinking exchange and you get pulled back or you get pulled out of position, that you look to sag and give yourself some time. The third mistake that we see is just general technique breaks down, whether it's using too much wrist, taking too much take back, weights off your back foot. So here's what dinking should not look like at the kitchen. Okay, Easy E and I are dinking back and forth. Easy has beautiful technique. Okay, you will see that I am using too much wrist, too much take back, too much wrist, trying to scramble way too often, trying to scramble, not recognizing how much time I have. Looks like I'm making this look way too difficult here, okay? Too much wrist, too much take back. So, anytime we're at the kitchen line, make sure you are kissing a baby. And it's very difficult to kiss a baby when you're using wrist, when you are scrambling, and when you're taking a big take back. So we're gonna focus on either leading with the palm as far as direction on the forehand, or leading with the knuckles as far as direction on the backhand side. I'm just gonna kiss the ball at 10%. I may even pause at the point of contact or feel like I'm kind of meeting a wall and pausing there. Main thing here is that I'm using the shoulder. Big body parts never break down. I'm in a good athletic stance, and I'm making my lower extremities look very effortless, and I'm dumbing my steps down just by having anchors on my feet, and less scrambling is taking place. Take a look. So I'm keeping things out in front of me, I'm letting the ball come to me. There's no need to rush. You have more time than you think. If I want to take a step back, that is totally fine. Know that you're really only going to take a step back when you're in that indecision zone. So let's say, Easy is dinking to my right foot here. If I find that maybe I'm not as comfortable taking this ball in my red zone out of the air, there's nothing wrong with taking a little step back, buying yourself some time, dinking, and then looking to reestablish from there. So times on when you would take a step back, it's just when it's in that pressurized indecision zone. Usually that comes off of a push dink or comes off a dink that has some more intent on it. With that being said, nothing wrong with taking a step back. Just make sure that we get reestablished as we get back up. Okay? Again. Keeping things out in front. Feet are nice and still. I'm gonna dink this man to death by making it look way too easy, even though I've never done that. Nice. Good, clean technique. The less going on, the less that can go wrong. You should make dinking look easy by settling down your lower extremities, settling down your upper extremities, and then just trusting that if you keep the paddle connected to the wrist, it's gonna stay connected to the shoulder, and use that shoulder as your main lever.